Good night. And yours truly, Dolphy Gilpin is here with you tonight again. And we are continuing with our series lecture. We were doing some work on the COVID-19, which has caused present state of emergency. It's a pandemic, meaning that this disease has crossed international border. It has gone all over the world. And so I have sort of deviated from my other previous session on the AMZ, and I've specifically focused on the pharmaceutical and medical section, henceforth the infectious disease characteristic of this COVID-19 SARS COVID-2 pandemic. Now, previously we had mentioned of a couple drugs that were in the forefront of the battle. Some were highly touted in highly political circles and highly medical circles. Hydroxychloroquine or chloroquine and azithromycin. And in combination, they have been proven to somewhat being effective in this fight against the COVID-19 disease. It's a highly infectious and deadly disease, and there are others in the fight, other drugs that have come to the forefront of the battle. And tonight I'm going to specifically focus on 4 others that have been called to the forefront and which were being experimented on prior to this pandemic. So we have here Remdesivir, and we have the structure of Remdesivir here. And as you see the structure, H2N, and this hexagon benzene type structure there. And this is a pentagon structure, and pentagon here with OH, N, OH, and once again you have the hexagon here, double bonded oxygens, phosphorus, nitrogen, hydrogen, double bonded oxygen, so forth coming down. And we have the chemical formula C27, H35, N6, OAP. Now this Remdesivir, otherwise called GS5734, is an antiviral drug for the treatment of the Ebola virus. It was previously used in the treatment of the Ebola virus, and it's now under study for the treatment of the 2019 novel coronavirus, or otherwise called COVID-19. It was previously experimented with the MERS, the Middle East respiratory syndrome, coronavirus, and the SARS, severe acute respiratory syndrome, coronavirus. And it had shown positive result then. But prior to this emergency, this Remdesivir had inherited an orphan status, or it was designated an orphan drug. And an orphan drug is described as a drug that is used to treat an orphan disease. And an orphan disease is defined as one that, because of the rarity of the disease, less than 200,000 affected person. It's rare, but it's deadly. Less than 200,000 affected by the disease. It's called orphan disease. And this is the US definition. The European definition is 1 in 2,000 affection. Now this Remdesivir has been shown to have positive effect upon the SARS COVID virus and MERS COVID virus and Ebola virus. But because of its orphan status, the pharmaceutical company involved here, Gilead, has asked now the FDA to rescind the orphan status so that the full potential of the drug can be brought forth in this emergency condition. And we do wish them all the very best in this, so that optimization of the potential of this drug can be brought forward in light of this pandemic, deadly pandemic that we have with the COVID-19 or SARS-CoV-2 coronavirus. So we wish Gilead all the best in their experiment, and we hope that everything will turn out just right. Another drug used brought to the forefront of this battle is the T705 Avigan or Favipiravir. Formula C5H4FN3O2. And this is a Japan-based drug discovered by Toyoma Chemicals Company Limited in Japan. And it's have a very simple structural formula here with the H and NH, double bonded oxygen, it's hexagon here with the double bond here, nitrogen here, hydrogen, and fluorine. And this Favipiravir, or T705, is a pyrazine carboxyamide derivative with activity against RNA viruses. And Favipiravir is converted to the ribofluorosyl triphosphate derivative by the OS enzymes, and selectivity inhibits the influenza viral RNA dependent RNA polymerase. And that is abbreviated RDRP, which is RNA dependent RNA polymerase. RDRP. And it prevents replication of the viral genomes. Now the T705 is a novel RNA polymerase inhibitor. And Favipiravir prevents replication of the influenza A and B, and was investigated for the treatment of Ebola virus as well, and Lassa virus, and now the COVID-19 in this emergency situation. So we have a lot of potential drugs being brought forth at this time, trying to optimize now the derivative and the potential of these drugs in the treatment of the COVID-19 coronavirus. Let's move on to another one, we have another drug here, the Galidesivir. And Galidesivir is an antiviral drug and adenosine analog derivative, developed by BioCris Pharmaceutical with funding from the NIAID, which is some National Institute of some infectious disease, the American infectious disease. It was originally intended for the treatment of hepatitis C, but now developed for the treatment of the deadly virus such as Ebola virus and the filovirus infections. And the formula for this Galidesivir is C17H15N5O3, and this is being tested now for the treatment of the COVID-19. I believe this Galidesivir is a Brazilian-based development, Galidesivir, whereas the T705 or is Japan-based. Now this is the structure of the Galidesivir. HNOOH, and this is a sort of a pentagon shape there. Pentagon again, and this is hexagon with some double bond there, and NH and HH. And this is the structural or molecular formula for the Galidesivir. So all these three drugs are now have been brought, which was previously used to treat other virus, like the Ebola virus and the filovirus, have been brought to experiment with the COVID-19 or SARS-CoV-2 coronavirus. A third one which I have not written down is also interferon alpha 2 beta. Interferon alpha 2 beta that's a Cuban-based drug, and it has, I think, during the time of the HIV, it was very active in the HIV, in preventing and treating the HIV infection. And now it's also been brought forward, experimented upon to treat the SARS-CoV-2, the coronavirus. Now, what is happening in this time is that scientists all over the world have been collaborating, and a unified effort is being made to integrate all the results and bring it under one umbrella so that we could, from this, extrapolate and bring together and derive the best results by the integral of the partial solution that is brought about by all of these experimental trials. So that's what the scientists and medical scientists and scientists are doing at the present time. They are collaborating, and a unified effort is to be made because of the deadly potential of this SARS-CoV-2 coronavirus, which is now killing so many people all over the world. And so we wish the scientific community and all the scientists, medical scientists, the very best in their experiments and their trials. And hopefully soon we will come up with some, by some unified effort, come up with one universal treatment that are a combination of drugs, or even one singular one, or a vaccine that could help us to delete the impact of this coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2 novel coronavirus. So that is now just a brief presentation here of 4 drugs, and that is in addition to either hydroxychloroquine or chloroquine and azithromycin. And there are others that are in the forefront of the battle. And like I said, by collaboration of these medical scientists and scientists, infectious disease specialists and physicians and doctors, we could come up with this universal solution, universal vaccine or universal drug that will help us and to delete the impact of this deadly pandemic caused by the SARS-CoV-2 novel coronavirus. So with that, I'm going to take another break, and at another time, I will bring you some other updates in the fight against this coronavirus, COVID-19.